What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Maple Leafs and their ability to go after some more star players and hopefully some goal scorers before the NHL trade deadline. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. We talk Maple Leafs, we talk hockey, and we have a lot of fun. And that's the most important thing. We're having fun. We're having good hockey conversations down below. Be civil with each other. This is supposed to be fun. But the Maple Leafs hopefully would be interested in this player. And this is me just kind of speculating. I'm really hoping that this is a guy that could be on the Maple Leafs radar. And I'll say it like a broken record, the Maple Leafs need scoring. And when I saw this tweet and it was brought to my attention, Jacob Stoller, he tweets out, "I'm hearing Jared McCann could be made available before the deadline. McCann is a versatile scoring forward that can kill penalties and play center if needed," which is important for the Maple Leafs because they need center depth. The 28-year-old carries a $5 million AAV until the end of the 26-27 season. Would make a lot of sense for the Jets. Now, let's not talk about the Jets, okay? You see this comment down below, Maple Leaf. That's what we need, okay? All jokes aside, if you guys didn't know, Jared McCann actually was a Maple Leaf temporarily. So when the Seattle Kraken were preparing to choose players for their draft, their expansion draft, the Maple Leafs kind of made some side deals and kind of made some forwards available. Dubas made a play that I actually respected, but in hindsight, I kind of wish he just made Justin Holl available because I think the Seattle Kraken were going to end up selecting Justin Holl, and the Maple Leafs decided to protect more defensemen. So in order for them to protect their forwards plus their defensemen, they acquired an extra forward, so that way the Kraken would basically be deciding between Jared McCann and Alex Kerfoot. And in hindsight, I think Maple Leaf fans were probably hoping that Kerfoot would get selected because Jared McCann ended up being the better player that could have still been a Maple Leaf. But again, the play is to hold on to your roster technically still, while also, not giving up a ton in order to hold on to your team. And again, I don't mind it, but at the same time, Jared McCann would have been a great option for the Maple Leafs, and he's played really well. Now, the report from Friedman provides clarity and logic from the Kraken's perspective, and that he's talking about this. Basically, Jared McCann's name being out there is teams coming to Seattle asking if they would consider moving him. It's not Seattle calling other teams to see if they can move him, which is expected. He's a great player. But McCann, I always say McMahon because of Bobby McMahon, but McCann is on a team-friendly deal with 2 years left on his contract. He's a leader in the dressing room, has shown no desire to leave from what we know. The teams calling about McCann also make a ton of sense. There isn't a team in the NHL that wouldn't want to add a player of McCann's caliber at his age and contract. The price will be steep if they want to get rid of him. Now, if we look at his stats, he's 28 years old, Stratford, Ontario. So again, a guy that's close to home. But look at the numbers that he's put up. 70 points in 79 games, including 40 goals. The year before that, 27 goals. So this would have been the production the Maple Leafs were getting. And then 29 goals last season. And then so far this year, a little bit more of a dip, but he'll still be in that 20-goal range, but he's still putting up numbers. And again, a guy that can play center. He plays the wing, but he can play center, and that's what the Maple Leafs need. They need another guy that can score at the center position. $5 million deal for the next couple years. It makes a ton of sense. The Maple Leafs, again, I'm such a broken record. Score the goal. Score the puck. Put it in the net. Whatever you want to call it, the Maple Leafs need scoring. And I'm so sick and tired of these little intricate, depth defenseman here, depth forward there. Go after a name player that can score goals, that's going to make an impact. If people are so upset with the deals that have been made by Dubas and Treliving, it's because they're giving up a lot of assets when they could pool all those assets from all those random deals that they made, collectively put them in one basket and add a top prospect to it and go after big names. And big names is, to me, is a guy like Jared McCann. And people are going to say he's not a huge name, but if the guy is flirting with 30 goals almost every season since the 21-22 season, and he's at a $5 million contract. On the open market, that's easily $6 million plus. And he's young. He's only 28. The Maple Leafs could get him still in his prime years, and it would make all the sense in the world. The Leafs keep saying they want to get guys that have years left on their deal. Well, this makes sense, but I want to throw this out there. This is the playoff picture, okay? This is what it looks like right now. The Kraken have 52 points. Do they believe that they can make their way back up to the 63-point range? Or do they believe that there's some teams here that are better than them that will end up squeaking past and maybe making bigger deals? Like the Avs, who have made some pretty crazy deals, but Nietzsche's has been good for them. The Canucks are better than what they're playing as, even though they got rid of Miller. The Flames are still always a team that's going to be right there because of their, they have a pretty solid squad, usually decent defensively. And Utah's been all right this year. They've been fun to watch. The Ducks are kind of, playing okay. Not really, but, same thing with the St. Louis Blues. There's a lot of teams in here that are still trying to be competitive. But if I'm one of these teams in limbo, I'm not trying to win now. Because they're just a little bit too far back. And if teams are willing to give a king's ransom, and that could be a first-round pick plus a top prospect for a Jared McCann, the Seattle Kraken are obviously going to listen. Do I think that that's a little bit too much in a trade package? Probably. But what level of prospect are we talking here? First-round pick's guaranteed. You're probably looking at a combination of like a first and a third, and maybe even an additional 6th or 7th attached to that, plus a kind of middle-of-the-road prospect, plus a very good prospect. That's kind of what I think if it's a king's ransom, like you got to blow us away type thing. What level of prospect is it? If it's an Easton Cowan or Fraser Minton, then no, you're not making that deal. But if it's a tier below that, the Maple Leafs should be considering that. And I'm so sick and tired of giving up first-round picks and, prospects for guys that are going to end up on the third line. If he's going to end up on the third line, at least he's a scoring threat on the third line. A guy that can make a legitimate threat to the Maple Leafs. Now, I'm actually going to look up Maple Leaf line combinations right now. Because I just want to show what the effect could be on potentially getting a guy like Jared McCann. So if you're going to put him as the third line center, you're essentially knocking Holmberg out of the lineup. Now, this is where I like to call plug and play could be very interesting, because you don't necessarily have to have Matthew Nyes on the first line. You could move up a Bobby McMann to that first line and mix in, Nyes with a Jared McCann on the third line, or you could even move a Mitch Marner down and move up a Nick Robertson to kind of balance out, now we have a lot of threats on every single line. Again, I'm not saying that that's possible, but when you replace a Holmberg or a David Kampf, but obviously it would be at that third line slot, if you're able to replace a Holmberg with a Jared McCann, that makes your lineup so much more scary. Now your third line isn't a dump and chase, throw a hit, and maybe get a scoring chance. This line is dangerous. It's actually dangerous. And that's what the Maple Leafs need. They need to show teams that they're dangerous on 3 lines. And the Leafs haven't had that in a very long time. You can have a third line of Bobby McMann, Jared McCann, and Nick Robertson. Or you could acquire another depth forward, or maybe Calle Yarncroke's healthy by the playoffs, and you've got a Calle Yarncroke who's a great player when he's healthy. This is what I'm talking about. You need to go after guys that can really score. They can really go out there and be a scoring threat, instead of being like, the matchup is we need some, defensive style hockey, just throw Holmberg out there and maybe McCann or McMahon and Robertson can score here and there. No, give them guys to play with. And that's where it needs to be. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. If you agree with me, let me know. If you don't, let me know. Let's have civil hockey conversations here. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I see you in the next video or stream. Peace.